It's your boy Gsluke here for our round 3 prize picks targets for this week's AT&T Byron Nelson. Here for round 3, we're going to go over my top 5 props and how I'm constructing my cards here for Saturday's round and what to expect here for what is going to be the lowest scoring round we see for quite some time. If you thought the scores for round 2 were low, if you thought there were fireworks out there, just wait until you see over the weekend. The weather is going to get even more benign, and in terms of the prize picks board, a lot of extremely inflated lines. I mean, 5.5 birdie or better numbers, people at 68 strokes for a par 72. So certainly they are expecting it to be quite electric out there. In terms of our round 2 picks, they were better than round 1, but not really what we're looking for. In terms of my cards, I went 2 for 3 on my cards, went 3 for 5 with our picks overall. Our 2 misses ended up being the fades. They were 2 props at 13.5 with greens and regulation, which isn't our best. If we hit those, would have been an epic day, a 12.5x day. But of course, the 2 extra cards I added, I mentioned the 3 unders on strokes I put in a power play, and of course, the 2-leg power with Jordan Spieth and Justin Thomas. So those were our cornerstones. Of course, saved our day in terms of the ROI. So we're not our best, right? We still got 3 out of our 5 right, though, and still made money. So at the end of the day, can really live with that type of performance. So looking to hopefully get 5 for 5 this time around and actually hit for the big bucks. All right, so quickly first, a review of round 2 and the scoring, where you can see the scoring was well below par. In fact, it was 2.88 strokes under par. And if we do separate it by wave, there was a preference for the morning wave over the afternoon. Now, that was really the thought process behind the fades. Why I chose to take the under on the 2 guys in the afternoon. Just unfortunately, Munoz and Seamus Power ended up hitting 14 greens rather than the under at 13.5. So we were thinking the right way. I would expect that same type of split between the morning and the afternoon to continue here for Saturday. The unfortunate part is that they're going off of both tees. They're starting off in the middle of the pack with the guys at 8 to 9 under par and finishing up with the guys that are in the lead and are 5 under that just made the cut. So you're not going to see any type of advantage because pretty much everyone is teeing off at the same time, or at least within the same 2 to 2.5 half an hours. The weather, like I said, absolutely beautiful. You can see the winds are just in the single-digit range for the entire day, and that is not only the sustained winds, but also the wind gusts. Whenever these guys are going to be on the golf course, it is going to be absolutely pristine. And if you thought the 2.88 stroke under par average was impressive, just wait for tomorrow. It is certainly going to eclipse the 3 under par mark. First off, just considering the weather, but also with the cut, right? A lot of those amateurs, the lower tier players that weren't playing all that well will not be around for the weekend. So scoring average, I would expect to be close to 3.5, maybe even 4 strokes under par, which might end up being a scoring average record for the PGA Tour, at least for this season. Let's now hop into the plays. And this is going to be a board that we're taking 2 quote-unquote unders and 3 overs on. And because it's inflated, I think a lot of the numbers are relatively accurate. It's an easier board to attack because yesterday I thought a lot of the numbers were much too low, right? Scoring was going to be a lot easier than I think Prize Picks imagined, which made hitting on guys like Jordan Spieth yesterday, Justin Thomas, Will Zalatoris, really a no-brainer, right? We knew they were going to hit the under for us. The hard part was trying to find the fades. Today, I think it's more of an even bag, right? More of a mixed bag when it comes to the props. So one of the fades I'm going to is going to be Matt Kucher at 68.5 strokes. For him to hit the under here, he's got to shoot 4 under par. And for Matt Kucher, at a golf course that's relatively long, he's not nearly the same player that he was before. I just question his firepower. I don't see him making somewhere in the range of like 7 to 8 birdies. He could very easily get to 5 or 6. Now his birdie number is at 5, so I would have taken the under. I just think there's a better chance that he shoots something like 3 or 2 under par. Or, like I said, he has to not shoot 4 under or better. Even if he makes 6 to 7 birdies, like I said, he could still very well go out and make a few bogeys and hit the over for us. So I just think it's a little bit more consistent or a little bit more leeway in taking something like strokes here, because at this golf course, for as much as gettable holes as there are, when you're playing into the wind on some of these longer 470, 490 yard par 4s, they can be tough to make par on. So especially for shorter hitters like a Matt Kucher. So I have him projected for 69.6 strokes, which is 1.1 higher than his projection right there. So nothing drastic, but still comfortable enough to go out and take a fade on. Next up, we have Jason Kochrack, who I'm taking the under on fairways. They're at 9.5, and it's just a misprice. He is one of the more inaccurate drivers on the PGA Tour, particularly if you take a look at his season-long stats. But this week has certainly been accurate, right? Hitting a lot more fairways than usual, and that's why he's priced towards the top of the board. I mean, guys like a Spawn, Matt Kucher, Xander Schauffele, Hideki Matsuyama, or elite level I should say accuracy players. I was going to say iron players, but I meant accuracy players off the tee. Whereas Jason Kochrack, like I said, is among the bottom of the PGA Tour in that category. So I just think it's a little bit of a misprice. I have him projected for actually 7.8 fairways, which is a whole 1.7 lower than his projection. So in terms of my fades, I do rank Jason Kochrack as my favorite over a Matt Kuchar, but both of them pretty significant in terms of the leeway that we have. And now for our overs, and they're all with birdies because it has by far the least amount of risk. We don't have to worry about that blow pull, something like a double or a triple bogey, which can happen with one or two OBs that come into play. Also, the one lake that comes into play on one of the par threes. But in general, these are high birdie or better percentage type of players, people that are extremely aggressive and are playing well to this point. So first off, Justin Thomas at 5.5. I mean, to this point, he's 10 under par, ended up making more than enough birdies on each day. The issue on day one was the bogeys he had, right? He started 2 over par through 7 holes, ended up shooting -4 on the day, so quickly turned it around there. Today ended up making plenty of birdies on the scorecard and is doing it without a putter. He's not making very many of those 15 to 20 footers. It's just doing it with all the 5 to 10 footers that you're supposed to make anyways. So the ball striking has been there. The off the tee play is there. If the putter improves, he could go even lower than he has for the first 2 days. So I only see improvement in the docket for a Justin Thomas. So even though it is an aggressive projection, they're at 5.5 birdies. I have him projected for 6.7 birdies, a whole 1.2 higher than his projection. So much like some of the other props, like I said, it's more of a mixed bag. I know some of the fades have quite a big of leeway there. Some of the people that we're supporting too have quite a big leeway there too. Next up, we have Jordan Spieth at 5.5. Very aggressive. Loves this golf course. Last year shot 63 on day one. This time around is 12 under through 2 rounds. So on a very similar pace. If he goes out there, has a solid day tomorrow, he's going to find himself in contention. And on Sunday, I kind of worry about the nerves, right? It's going to be very nerve-wracking for Jordan Spieth if he's in contention in his hometown of Dallas. But here on Saturday, he doesn't have to worry about that. He should be freed up. He's starting from 3 shots behind the lead. And if he goes out there, shoots something like 4 to 5 under par, even better, hopefully something like 7 to 8 under par would be his goal in mind. He could be winning this golf tournament by Sunday. So he has a lot of incentive. He's playing some of the best golf that we've seen, of course, coming off the win at the RBC Heritage. And this week has the putter working, which is really the X factor for Jordan Spieth. He ended up winning the RBC Heritage, losing strokes to the field with the flat stick, but this week has continued the ball striking, but is now gaining with the putter. So if he continues that, watch out. He is my pick to win this week, in fact, for anybody interested in that type of thing. And lastly, we have Joaquin Niemann at 5.5 birdies. And he's kind of similar to a JT and a Jordan Spieth, where he's extremely aggressive, somebody who's going to take aim at pretty much every single pin, and also a relatively good putter. So he makes a lot of those opportunities, and that's why his birdie or better percentage is reflective of him being an elite level player. The issue with Joaquin is that he's not the best around the green player from time to time, and every once in a while he could be a little bit leaky off the tee. The beautiful part with attacking birdies is we don't care if he has a blow-up hole or 2, right? He can go out there and make 2 to 3 triple bogeys if he wants to, as long as he gets to the 6 birdie mark for us. So I like the fact that he's a young, aggressive, up-and-coming type of player. I shouldn't even say up-and-coming. At this point, he's arrived on the scene, and certainly somebody I like adding to my cards. So kind of similar to yesterday, I will be adding in this 5-leg flex. I have $100 on it, but I also have a $100 card of just the overs here on the birdies are better for just these 3 players, and then also a 4-leg power play with these 3 and the Jason Kochrack under on fairways. So like I said, it is the one fade that I prefer over the other. And the last card that I have is just Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth, running it back with the same type of prop with the over on birdies are better in a 2-leg power play for a 3x return. That would be my last card. That's all for the round 3 picks. Before you hop on out of here, go ahead and let me know your favorite prop on the board down in the comments section. And as per usual, we'll have you covered for round 4, so make sure to stay tuned for that. If you haven't already liked the video, I'd appreciate if you did that before you hopped out of here. Go ahead and smash that. Also, like I said, comment down below your favorite prop. and I'll see you guys next time. Best of luck with your props. Hopefully we can hit for that 5 of 5. I see it coming sometime here soon, and if it happens here for round 3, all the better. So, like I said, get all that cash here for the 3rd round, and I'll see you guys for tomorrow.